Next on the Broadway show, the First Timers Club. It's Tony's weekend, and we're talking with some of this year's hottest first-time nominees, including Rachel Dratch, Myles Frost, Gabby Beans, and more. Let's send it out to Paul Wontorek.
Thanks, Tamsin. There's nothing like receiving your first Tony nomination. I'm here at a Broadway.com photo shoot, getting to know 5 of the talented performers getting ready for their big night at Radio City. Good to see you, Myles.
Likewise.
How are you surviving Tony season?
You know what? I am thriving. I am not surviving.
Thriving.
I'm thriving. No, this is such an amazing opportunity. It's such an amazing journey. It's a magical journey, and I'm having so much fun.
You've been through a lot in the last couple of months. You made your Broadway debut, now you're a Tony nominee. I mean,
Yeah.
what a crazy journey. How you feeling? How's your ego?
I feel fine. I mean, I feel like it's sort of washing over me like a dream, and I'm just enjoying whatever comes, you know?
You're a first timer. How's it feel to be in the club? Do you feel like you're in a club?
I've been made to understand that it is in fact a club. I didn't realize I was not in the club, but now that I'm in the club, I realize there's a club.
Did they teach you the handshake?
There is a handshake, yeah. I can't do that on camera, sorry, but it's very detailed. It's a lot more difficult than you would think.
Jeannette, so good to see you.
I am so happy to be here. What a wonderful time this is.
Tony season.
This is my first time and it's exciting. The air smells good up here.
You get to sing some fantastic Bob Dylan songs every night and grow up in the North Country,
Yes.
including Like a Rolling Stone. So to quote yourself, how does it feel?
How does it feel? It feels so good. I am grateful for this moment. I'm grateful for this opportunity, and I don't want to take it for granted, so I'm taking in every moment.
Rachel, you're a first-time Tony nominee. How does it feel?
Very exciting.
Is there anything Debbie Downer about being a Tony nominee?
No, there's nothing. I can't think of one downer about it. Like I'm not part of this usually like the awards circles and any, so it's kind of fun to be like, you know, what's going on in here, you know, so yeah.
Is this something you would consider a goal? Was this on a dream
Yeah,
list?
this was definitely on my dream board. No, I had a few little things that I wanted to achieve or whatever, dreams. And like one was to do Shakespeare in the Park and one was to do Broadway.
Oh.
And I can't really think of another one I have.
You're done now.
I might be done. No, those were the two. So yeah, it's really, and then the Tony was like, that wasn't even on the board. So
Wow.
that's a fun extra.
You grew up in the Bronx.
I am from the Bronx.
You're a real New York girl. You went to LaGuardia High, the
That's
famous
right.
school.
LAG.
So what did the Tony Awards mean to you? Did you watch them as a kid? Or?
You know what? I didn't watch as a kid. I watched as an adult. And I was always in awe of the talent, and I thought it was a wonderful thing. It's so funny because this time around, I'm in a new show, but I wasn't thinking about the Tonys. Like, my commitment to the show is like solely based on what the art that we were presenting, and Tonys wasn't in my mind at all. So when the nomination came, I was really surprised because I'm like, oh wow, oh yeah, oh well, this is awesome. We weathered so many other storms and we overcame so many things, just opening up in 2020, then 2021, then 2022. You know, we were just happy to be back on Broadway and just, you know, people coming to see the show. So this is just a bonus, a beautiful bonus.
What does it mean, this sort of period that you're going through right now? And are you able to sort of soak it in?
A lot of things have kind of come together at this very specific time in the world, in my career, in my life. The play itself, I mean, we're really hitting on something that's very, very in the zeitgeist in a lot of ways. A lot of the stuff that's being talked about in the play. And so it feels much bigger than just being singled out for my performance. It feels like a recognition of all of our work, a culmination of all of the people that have helped put this together.
What is it like seeing your name on a list with other nominees in a fancy category like leading actor in a musical?
It was so surreal because it didn't hit me till it happened. Like I wasn't thinking about, because I'm so into the work. My job is to cater to the story. I do this because I care about the story and I care about, you know, portraying the story and the character in the best light that I know how. you know, so when it kind of was like, hey, you're gonna be here with this person and this person, I'm like, huh? They're such cool people, and to be amongst legends as well as, you know, newcomers like myself, it's surreal, and I'm honored to be in this class. It's cool, and I'm super humble and I'm super appreciative.
We'll pick back up with Paul in the First Timers Club in just a few. The Skin of Our Teeth is Thornton Wilder's classic play, and this year's revival earned 6 Tony nominations. One of the show's stars, Gabby Beans, making her Broadway debut and earning her first Tony nomination. Let's check back in with Paul Wontorek.
I'm assuming it's very special to be a part of a season with so many Black voices amplified on Broadway. How does it feel to be a part of Broadway in 2022 and the Tonys this year?
You know, in 2020, we had this reckoning of the theater industry at large, sort of looking at itself and asking hard questions about who we allow to tell stories, whose stories are worthwhile, and so on and so forth. So to be part of this reopening season and to see that Black creators are being given a huge stages to display their talent and to tell our stories, it feels incredible. I'm an optimist, so I hope that this moment is indicative of a larger sea change, but I think that by giving Black and queer and people of color artists these sort of positions of power in institutions, we can make a more lasting change.
What kind of works really excite you? I mean, if you look ahead about where you hope your career goes with this extra boost, what kind of things do you want, what kind of stories do you want to tell?
I mean, I'm really someone who's drawn to good writing. So I have like a bunch of writers that I really admire and who I'd like to work with, and hopefully maybe, you know, I'll get their eyes on me through this. But also I just think I'm really interested in stories that have a strong social conscience, that are doing the work of like imagining what the world could be, not just reflecting sort of the day-to-day realities that we're living with. So my biggest hope for my career with this Tony's nomination is just that maybe I have a little bit more agency in my career, so I can be a little bit more selective about and do what you suggested I was already doing, which is be able to sort of create a body of work that has intentionality around it.
It must feel, being in POTUS right now, it almost feels like a public service to be delivering a comedy like this.
I kind of get this sense when the audience is laughing, like they're laughing at the play, but then they're also like, there's this extra layer of like, ha ha ha, we're out and we're having fun. And like, they're laughing, but then they're also excited just to be laughing. Yeah, I mean, there's something about just that shared experience and hearing like 1,000 people laughing. That's really just the fun of it all. It's like the joy bomb of the whole thing.
So tell me about theater you did as a kid.
As a kid? Well, as a kid, I was just into like the school play, and I, you know, but also at the same time, like I watched SNL and Carol Burnett and, you know, Laugh-In when I was really little. And I definitely wasn't like the lead of every play in high school at all. Like I was Amaryllis in The Music Man. And then I'd sort of like work my way up every year, which has sort of been a theme for me. Like, I'm not the person that like instantly like fresh on the scene, here's the star of the show. It's just more like, I mean, like most people that I know in the biz, like, you know, it's a steady climb, but yeah.
Slow and steady.
Yes.
Well, that means like, you know, in 30 years, maybe you'll be Angela Lansbury. I mean, who knows?
Knock
Maybe you'll
on
become
wood.
a grand lady of the stage.
That's me. Look, I got the sleeves for it. This today. We did a glam photo shoot. I'm dressed as a grand lady of the stage.
I know you have a family now. What is different about this happening to you at this point in your life versus if it had happened like, you know, right out of school? It must hit you differently.
Absolutely. You know, it happens, you know, these things happen when they happen, if they happen. This happened at just the right time in my life, you know. I was able to see what the opportunity, what it was, and appreciate it for what it was. I knew from a creative and artistic standpoint, and also having done Broadway, knowing what the demand was, understanding the risk that was involved. So I wasn't kind of coming into it kind of haphazard, and I know full well the demand of what I was taking on and the responsibility that I would have in the company, and then having the success that we've had, you appreciate it. Every moment that I've ever had in my career has been special. The first job, the first time you get paid, the first Law and Order, right? Like these things, they're all super important. In the words of Richard Greenberg, it's really tough to eloquate, really.
I always talk to actors about how do they balance getting ready for events and doing the events, but this is like so multiplied for you because you add the COVID element and then the fact that you're new to it. I mean, this is all sort of like, there's no like guidebook to hand you.
Yeah, and that would have definitely been helpful to a degree. You
could write that book for the next guy.
I could. That's actually a great idea. Might just do that. Because like you said, the element with COVID and everything, like that's really been the dagger in everything. Whether it's taking that week off or week and a half off or however many days it is, and then coming back to a 2-show day and you're like, I think I'm up to it, and then you realize halfway through the second show that you're not, you know, and just having to deal with the emotions that come behind that because you want to give a solid performance every night. I want to exceed, I want to do better than the show yesterday. That's how I process and do my thing.
I know that you play the stock market. So do you look at the list of Tony nominees? Like you look at the stock market, like, well, is that a winner and that one's not going to do it?
You know what? I don't. We had the nomination launching.
Yeah, you got to hang out with everybody.
Hang out with everybody, and I feel like I'm just happy for everybody because I know what it took to get here. So I'm just happy for the journey, and I feel like we're all winners at this point. Everybody on Broadway, we're winners because we're doing something that so many other people set out to do that couldn't do. And we're doing it every night, and you don't need a Tony to say like, oh, I'm a winner. You're a winner because you're in this cast. You're a winner because you're doing what you love. You came to New York with a dream and you're making it happen.
The Broadway show is back in just a sec. Let's check back in with Paul in the First Timers Club.
Big TV appearances are extremely powerful. I remember as a kid seeing Michael Jackson moonwalk on the Motown 25 special.
I wish I saw it.
Blew my mind. You're going to be appearing on the Tony Awards. You don't know, some kid somewhere is going to see you maybe moonwalk. I don't know what you're going to be doing. How exciting is that for you to get to appear on the telecast?
I'm super excited. I cannot wait for the rest of the world to see MJ, and the light that we bring to the stage. And like you said, like it's gonna be some kid out there that's like, oh my God, I feel like I saw Michael Jackson, and be inspired by that to do, whatever he or she wants to do. And that's another reason why I do what I do, is to inspire whoever, kids, people my age, people older, Inspiration doesn't have an age, and aspiration doesn't have an age.
How are you gonna treat yourself when all of this madness is done?
I think I want to go somewhere close to the water that's not the Hudson or the East River.
That's the post-Tony's goal.
Yeah, it's just somewhere close to water, not in the 5 boroughs.
It's a good goal.
Yeah.
You can pull that off.
That's achievable, right? Yeah. I like to under-promise and over-deliver, even with myself.
What does your son think of your newfound Broadway success?
When he came off the school bus, I was like, I was nominated for a Tony, and he didn't even know what that was, So I was like, well, it's just Broadway. And then the next day, he went to school and he told all his friends that I was not, but they didn't know what it was either, so he had to tell them. So, but yeah, now the whole 5th grade knows, so I'm sure they'll be watching.